hour, you've witnessed how surveillance cameras can save lives and put the bad guys behind bars. But did you know there's a new high-tech crime wave that is hijacking your own surveillance cameras and turning them against you? Baby monitors. Parents use them to keep a watchful eye over their children. But what happens when a criminal hacks into that camera and takes control of that device? It's a video portal that puts the criminal into the middle of your home. While in control of that baby monitor, a thief can keep track of a parent's whereabouts, keeping tabs on when the family is asleep, which gives the robber time to prepare and plan. Even more disturbing, some hackers have engaged in obscene and eerie conversations through the baby monitors.
Hey, little one. Yeah,
Children aren't the only ones at risk when it comes to this trend of hijacking cameras. Thieves can now hack into your very own home security system. From typing computer passwords to viewing your financial data, giving them a bird's eye view of your most critical security information. Even disarming your home alarm system for easy access into your house. There are also private moments in the comfort of your own home that can be exploited for a criminal's personal gain, from intimate encounters to innocent children playing in their room. Nearly 70% of Americans are worried that they'll be hacked. But for those who weren't aware, I hope you're listening now. Because with just a few basic tips, your privacy can be protected.
I mean, apparently, it's so prevalent, it has a term, right, associated with it.
That's absolutely right. So the term is appropriately named RAT, an acronym, R-A-T. It stands for Remote Access Trojan. And the hacker...
So, you know, many of the videos we saw of those crimes today, you know, they were premeditated. But what happens when your average person just snaps? This next segment features people who reached their boiling points. The cameras were rolling. Here was some compelling footage. Please welcome criminal investigative reporter Vincent Hill. Welcome, Vincent.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Now, Vincent has a background which gives him an expertise in this. He's a military vet. He's a decorated police officer, a private investigator. And he's seen it all. What do you mean, people who just snap?
Well, Maury, that's just it. I have seen it all, but even these videos shocked me.
Now, it's safe to say the woman in this first clip snapped when she discovered her boyfriend had a severe medical condition.
So here we see this guy riding his bike after giving his girlfriend some pretty bad news that he had an STD. No one wants that, right? Look at this. Wham! Takes him up like a rag doll. Just like that. Here you see these good Samaritans coming up to check on this guy. He's slowly getting up. He starts to wobble off here. And wait for it. He's gonna fall. Just like that.
Was that woman charged?
She was charged with attempted murder, leaving the scene of an accident, and assault.
Okay. Now we have a discrepancy about a hotel bill.
This guy took his anger to the next level. Let's just say it came crashing down.
John Parsley was clearly having a bad day when approached by this officer. Angry over a discrepancy on his hotel bill, this man took matters into his own hands. He couldn't run and definitely couldn't hide. Next stop, jail.
And Maury, this guy was actually charged when he got to the jail for ripping the toilet off of the wall in jail.
At the jail?
At the jail. He ripped the toilet off the wall.
He had a little jail rage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Now, a simple question over a bus seat sent this man in this next clip into a blind rage against two innocent women.
Here's a guy that looks normal that just in a split second snapped, and here's the result of it.
Take a look.
Bus driver Joy Crummett's day started out like any other, picking up her passengers. That is, until one of her passengers, an 80-year-old woman, was dealt a devastating blow. Shocked, stunned, and bloody, this passenger was desperate for help. He then switched his rage to the driver. Thanks to her quick thinking, help soon arrived. And when this criminal thought he could use the bus as his getaway vehicle, big mistake, because the only place he was headed was to jail.
So, Maury, this guy was charged with kidnapping, harassment, and assault.
We've just seen that kind of violence from people who can snap. But, you know, sadly, there are premeditated violent crimes. I want you to take a look at a photo of my next guest. Her name is Audrey. When she was living the ordinary life of a wife and mother at 25 years old. This is a picture of Audrey after her husband tried to murder her. On September 20th, 2007, Audrey married whom she thought was the man of her dreams, a New York City police detective named Chris.
Chris was really charismatic when I first met him. He was the type of guy that just lit up the entire room. I knew from the moment that I met him that he was going to be my husband and the father of my children.
To many, Chris appeared to be the fun, loving man he portrayed, but deep down, he had hidden demons, demons that started to surface.
Chris started to become more and more controlling by suggesting what I should and shouldn't wear. And he also started to manage all of the finances.
This realization gave Audrey the strength to walk away from her troubled marriage. But Chris had other plans.
A few weeks after I left him, he tried to rape me in front of our youngest child. I was absolutely terrified, and that was the first time that I called 911 in regards to Chris.
3 weeks later, the unthinkable happened.
He put me face down onto the ground, held a butcher knife to my throat, began trying to rape me, and then started bludgeoning me with a hammer back and forth against my head. He lit a candle, doused me in gasoline, and then set me on fire.
Thankfully for Audrey, a nearby neighbor came to her rescue.
911 was called. I was airlifted to the hospital, spent 6 weeks in a coma, and was burned over 80% of my body.
Chris was sentenced to life in prison with an additional 60 years. But for Audrey, the horror of that day forever lives on. Please welcome, everybody, one of the most courageous women I have ever read about. Please welcome Audrey to the show.
When you met him, he was a good guy?
He was absolutely charming. No one that knew him thought that he was capable of anything like this.
You were in a coma for 6 weeks?
Yes, coma for 6 weeks and then in the hospital for an additional 6 weeks.
You went to trial?
Yes.
You faced him in court?
Yes.
What was that like?
He wouldn't even look at me.
Didn't I read where he was trying to be contrite at the end?
He did apologize in the end.
He'll never get out of jail.
No, he will spend the rest of his life in prison.
So your story can be an inspiration to any woman who finds herself in a controlling situation.
I think that's why God saved my life, to go on and inspire other people to, you know, never give up and to get them